Yo,
Peace.
Yo,
good. What's good?
What's up?
we're shaking.
You ready to start, Matt?
Yeah, I'm rolling. Video and audio is good to go.
Yeah, okay. Check. If you're hearing the sound of my voice or watching this on YouTube, that means you're now tuned into another chapter of the Introverted Intuition podcast. My name is Jeff, aka the Petty Podcaster, aka the Ambitious Introvert, aka the Leader of the Libras. As always, I got my boy with me, CR. Say what's up, yo.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your man CR908 representing Jump Out the Frame, JOTF. What's good?
And tonight we got a guest with us that I've been trying to get on the show since, what was that, last year at the Gotham Podcast Seminar? Was that last year?
Oh man.
Yeah, ever since then we've been trying to get you on, so it's definitely an honor and a pleasure to have you here. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Oh man, what's good? My bad with the delay. I was just trying to change the view. But yeah, salute to the Introverted Podcast. I go by the name of A King. And yeah, man, I'm here.
Thinking back to last year with the how the world was then to how it is now, it's been a crazy shift. I'm sure y'all can agree.
A whirlwind.
It's insanity now. But first of all, I want to say, how are you? How are you holding up during these times? Dealing with the pandemic, dealing with the police brutality, all this. How is your mental? How are you?
Oh man, thank you for asking that. I'm good, man. Just it's an interesting time, man. Like, I'm pretty sure we've all read similar books and we know parts of our history that dealt with this particular thing, and now we're seeing it amplified in front of our faces. So it's like, it's weird at the same time, but it's also kind of to be expected. It's more so a matter of not if, but when. If we've been paying attention to everything that's been going on, that predates us and leading up to now, right? So it's just it's interesting times, man. But other than that, I'm good, man. Just staying busy, probably more busier at home than not, pre pandemic, So and that's not a bad thing, but it's just interesting times, man. It's just very interesting times.
Going back, go ahead, yeah.
I was just gonna say, has the demand for your content gone up since everybody's been in quarantine, everybody at home? So
I think to a degree, but it's weird because I also see like just streaming in general, audio streaming at least, is down all across the board, and I think I contribute that to a lot of people are home with their families, so the time that they would have to listen to a podcast on their downtime, it probably got lesser. You probably doing more TV streaming if you have kids, or if if you're involved in a relationship. Travel and the gym is no longer, right. So those are two other spots where you can, throw on your headphones and just listen away. So I kind of contribute that to, that part all across the board. But I mean, on the flip side, the ones who are searching for content, I mean, shoot, I done ran through so many TV joints that I wouldn't have normally have seen pre-pandemic, So it's like when I'm done, it's like, all right, what's next? And I look maybe for a new podcast or, new music. But that's just me in particular. But I believe that there's still a demand for it, because people want to be informed. People want to hear different perspectives about certain things. So.
Is that part of your job to discover like new talent and search with really like upcoming podcasts, or what exactly do you do?
Everything. I don't necessarily have, to be honest, I really don't have a set a title per se. The network is not a big network in terms of staff and what have you. It's pretty much the core that was there from the essence, and we still operate. We're an independent company, So So with that being said, I kind of do a little bit of everything from the production side to talent development, marketing, and everything. I'm in all facets of the operation. But me personally, yeah, I mean, I kind of take it upon myself to make sure that I'm, in tune with the stuff that's out there that might be emerging, and see if there's maybe a fit or some synergy. But yeah, I try my best, but
Word.
everybody got a podcast now, so
Yeah, man. It's kind of hard to get through the weeds and figure out who's really doing it for whatever reason. Like the reason I think people podcast is completely different, right? Some people do it as a hobby. Some want to take it the next level and do it career-wise. So I imagine it's kind of hard to figure that out when you're looking for new talent or curious about someone you're interested in investing in. So
yeah, I'm just not sure if somebody that hasn't done it before could just jump in and become, this business model, right? I think essentially it has to start out as a hobby because you don't have any expectations for it. And then what happens is once you're starting to see that you have some type of impact on even a small audience, that's a litmus test. Like, okay, maybe this can become a thing where you can monetize it and make it a business. But all in all of that stuff takes time.
Understood.
And a lot of people start podcasts, and then in 2-3 months they're out of it because they realize that it takes work.
Yeah.
It takes work and time. You really got to invest in yourself doing this stuff.
Right. And I kind of feel. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Continue. My bad.
No, I was going to add on to that. I was saying like people who have a newer podcast, I feel like the hardest part is kind of what direction you want your show to be going. What do you want to talk about, right? And I feel, honestly, I used to bash podcasts who talk about current events and stuff like that, but they kind of lucked up currently what was going on. Like there's so much to talk about, right? So it's like this weird shift, like podcasts who are in a box where they have a specific lane you want to talk about or kind of on the back end compared to the current event podcast. So it's just a weird shift that I've noticed.
Yeah, no, I see it the same way for sure.
I think it's really hard not to talk about current events, especially like you said, like with so much going on right now. It's kind of like, even though we know the information, I particularly like hearing people's different perspectives on that news. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes that's the best way to expand, the knowledge on whatever it is that's being discussed. Somebody else might see it different on their side.
Absolutely.
Well, I would add that I've always been one not to, like when somebody make a pitch, someone might say, "Yo, I got a podcast, right?" Or "I want to start a podcast." I expect them off the rip to tell me if they want to do a pop culture podcast because it's an easy conversation.
Yeah,
right? That's the thing that's in your face all the time. What I stay away from in that conversation is that look at the ones who are pumping out pop culture. Like, what do you think you can add to that?
That's not really there.
Because if you notice, even if you're talking about Instagram, urban news, for instance, right? Pop culture. You have Shade, Ball Alert, Academics, all these other outlets. Then you have the TMZs, right? Then you have the podcast. Look at the ones that's at the top of that elite top 20 pop culture list. If you're not doing anything to crack that, all of those outlets that I said, it makes no sense to do a pop culture podcast unless you just want to do it as a hobby. But again, if your ultimate long-term goal is to make money, that's a big hurdle. You know what I mean? Those entities have the market. Like, those are the people we go to every day and that's in our feed, that's on TV and what have you. So to add on to what you said about current events, the need for it is because it's relatable content. It's stuff that we are going to deposit and use on a day-to-day basis. We want to be informed. So I tend to gear more into the relatable aspect of it, mental health or things that you can apply to your daily life, you
That
know.
makes
And then
sense.
on top of that, like sports, obviously, you know, the conversation is forever. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. And going into like a current event, the biggest current event probably of the year, the COVID-19. Can you take us back to your thoughts around like maybe what was it, end of February, March, when this is starting to become a real thing? Like when did it really become real for you that this would be a part of our reality?
there was a time before when they was like when New York started, you know, being a part of the statistics,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it started to be like a couple hundred, and then they start increasing. I was like, wait a minute, let's think about it. New York is a heavy population, dense city. How is it not gonna be here? You know what I mean? How is it not gonna spread, right?
Yeah.
And just think about the 5 boroughs in particular, and then you know how we get to work, and we have the mass transit, all these different things. And I'm like, it's only a matter of time. What I didn't realize, obviously, like everybody else, I didn't think it was gonna be like to the numbers and to the capacity that it has been. So at that time, I would say the beginning of March is when it was like, okay, we got some adjustments to make. You know what I mean? It's about to go down. You know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it was probably about early March that I was like, oh man.
And then obviously when stuff started shutting down, it was just like, and then you forced to stay home. It's just like it's realer than ever. But during that time of like adjusting to work from home and being home all the time, were there any like fears? Maybe not on the business aspect, but on maybe the personal aspect, like the loss of human interaction. That was like the biggest thing for me, like having to communicate through phones and do that regularly every day. Was that a hard adjustment for you?
Not hard. It was just like it was a question like, all right, you know, how is this all gonna be processed? You know what I mean? Like, you know, you kind of had to do it on the fly, you know. But then as the need for conversations began to be that crucial, I think it made the method of communication, the method of the purpose, it kind of made sense. Like we're here now on Skype.
Mm-hmm.
Normally we would have been trying to get in the studio together, and then that would have been a scheduling thing, right? You know, a calendar thing. Whereas we're on Skype, dude, yo, I just sent you a link, and I don't know where you brothers are at right now, but we're here right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the conversations is easier. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we're having conversations with everybody, and that's because of where we're at on a technological scale. So I guess that's the positive of it. I try to look for the, you know, the positive elements of it. But look, we're here, man. You know,
Absolutely.
and we're all connected. We're all communicating, and we're making changes out here. You know.
To piggyback off that, yo, I agree. Like there are a lot of positive things to take from this. I've been able to spend a lot of time with myself, been able to realign my thinking and being able to move forward. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn how to think my way out of depression. I had to figure out how to keep myself motivated. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things I've been reading more, listening to audiobooks. And I love everything that happened during this time. I met great people, you know what I'm saying? Because I was still working. I drive Lyft full time during the day. And I met
Wow.
I met some dope people during this time. And it's just real interesting. I feel like a whole spiritual shift has happened during this quarantine for me. I've been doing a lot of introspective work.
Beautiful.
For me, I've learned so much about myself. I really put a lot of pressure on myself for the little things. But when all those little things are taken away from me, literally forced away from me, I'm forced to stay inside. I don't have to worry about going to work. I don't have to worry about getting gas. I don't have to worry about whatever. All that was taken away from me. And I really learned that all that shit don't matter. Things aren't as big as your mind will tell you that they are.
Right.
But what came with that, all that thinking, the fear kind of settled in a bit of like, will things go back to normal? Like whatever normal was, right? Will things go back to that? Like the loss of my routine was the hardest part for me. Going to my job and going to the gym and whatever, like that was a hard adjustment. But
True.
What sparked from that is a new routine. So it was like this weird positive and negative balance that I found myself, and I found myself in the middle of that. But I'd say this quarantine has definitely been one of the best things for me. I'm not gonna lie. But hey King,
Beautiful.
like, have you learned anything about yourself during this time? Anything you may want to change or improve on?
Oh, good question. I think there's things that I've improved on, and more so on a personal level, just tolerance. I think I don't tolerate. I think I tolerated people and circumstances because I guess I'm just an optimistic person like that. But just some things and situations and people are not worth your time, and you don't. That's no one's fault. It's just all of this stuff. How we deal with each other is based on tolerance anyway. Like how much, what's the cushion that I'm going to allow you, whatever it is, So I think in that regard, I pull back a little bit more, you know what I mean? Just reevaluate friendships and relationships. And that could be family, that could be friends, significant other. But just step back and reevaluate, like, this is not normal times, or I know it's weird because things were never normal to begin with, because we're fighting through all of these different societal ills, but that's a whole nother conversation. But like, yeah, just reevaluating, man, and seeing who and what's more important, in your life, how it relates to how you live and whatnot. So on that note, it's like perspectives. And I think being able to sit down allows you to do that. But before we're running this circuit. Yo, I gotta go here. I gotta be there by this time. I gotta go here. I gotta work. Got this. Gotta go hit the gym. Gotta do this. Gotta go see mom. Gotta go see. And then you're not really able to figure that part out. The evaluating of people around you and what have you, or friends and relationships or whatever. But sitting down, it makes you do that. It's like, yo, all right. She's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yo, I think that's so dope because, like, I came up with a name for that because I've been going through that too. I call it social maintenance. You know what I'm saying? So like right now, I listen to Les Brown, and Les Brown says you should only go with quality people. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, it's like a relationship has to benefit me, and I have to benefit them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? If we're not pushing each other, if it's not a beneficial relationship, like, unless it's family, I have to cut ties. And even if it's family, I'm gonna love you from a distance. I'm not gonna come see you every weekend and hang out because it's like I'm on a mission right now. You feel me? Right. So it's just like where I'm at right now, I feel the same way. It's like it's either you with us, you against us, or you in the way.
That's a fact.
All right.
I feel like the biggest hesitation that people have with that aspect of like changing up your relationships is time spent with these people, years on end. But it's like you got to come to a point where you realize that you can't have a one-sided relationship. Like if people are only coming to you when they need something, then that's a problem. If people are only coming to you now that you build a platform and they want to possibly use it to their advantage, you just got to be selfish with your time sometimes and protect yourself truly.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, you got to protect your energy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And all those toxic relationships could definitely affect your mental. Like, how has your mental been coping during this time? Like, you're coming to these realizations of people that you allotted certain amounts of time to. Like, is that making you feel, I guess, maybe I wouldn't say depressed at the fact that the time spent, but maybe depressed at the loss of those ties?
Nah. Because it's a few things, man. Like I realize, one, you only can control what you can control. Period. And the minute you start trying to control shit that you can't, or other people's actions, then you're walking down a slippery slope, and that's where it gets a little crazy. And then the other thing is like, what keeps me from that mental, state that you're referring to. My mom always says, what's the saying? I forget it now. It was right there. But just on the level, like, I forgot it's right there, bro. It's right. I was about to hit a home run with this, but nah, it's just a matter of, yo, look, it's simple, man. Like you said, if you're not part of the solution, then, you know, what are we doing here?
Right.
We all got baggage, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know if I want your shit.
And
You might not want mine.
And I think that's
if I got 2 bags, you give me 2 bags. Like,
Yeah.
If it ain't that type of action, then see ya.
Word.
I feel like that's a maturity thing about learning about valuing yourself. Because I feel like you have to value yourself and your time and realize when it's being wasted. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not intentional, because sometimes these are people who really want to just be around you, especially if you're an optimistic, positive person. You have that type of energy that people crave. So you constantly have people hitting you up, inviting you places and everything like that. And you have to realize you can't be everywhere. You feel me? Especially if you have a definite purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have that definite purpose, you start analyzing things like, okay, does this align with my purpose? Does this contribute to where I'm trying to go? Or is this a detour? Or am I going completely off track? And I feel like the relationships we have in our lives, you got to kind of use that same measurement for each one.
Right.
Absolutely. And it comes from maturity, man.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, and like, just like I think last episode we talked about like how well do you know the people around you? Like, you know, versions that they present to you, but how well do you know them at your core? It is a feeling, but you have to actually really learn and sit down with these people and pay attention to every word they say, or else they'll fool you and use you.
Right. That's real.
Yo, AK, can I ask you a question? Are
you
single? Bro? Are you out here, or are you in a relationship?
No, I'm single, bro.
All right, so like because so my biggest thing that I've been learning, that I had to learn lately, was the type of females that I was going after. Because just because they look good, I don't know how old you are. You're probably older than me or whatever. I know you've probably been around the block, so you know what I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm the type of nigga, man, I love them ass and titties, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like what I like. You know what I'm saying? But I have finally reached, because I'm 27, turning 28, man. And I'm young. So I'm finally really reaching that perspective where I can separate the female's character from how she looks and be okay with saying, you know what, you bad, but I'm not fucking with you.
But that takes maturation.
Yes.
And also and up to this point, I mean, I hope you haven't had to deal with life-changing events.
No.
But so therefore, no, that's what I'm saying. So up to this point, you should give yourself a high five, because some people don't mature till after they've experienced those type of things. And if you learn that now, before, you know, those things happen, that's gonna guide you the rest of the way. Yes. But unfortunately, some of us, we get caught up, you know, and then, you know, then the maturation speeds up, because now it's like, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to be, and because those things come with other things, other burdens. So salute, you know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard, bro. You walk outside, it's 85 degrees, and it's summer skirts. It's the aura, the smell, you're in heaven. And then you go on to social media, and then you're seeing all of the other. It's like, what is going on here? So it's easy to make a bad decision out here. So
it's so easy.
What I will say is, you brave for still linking during the COVID. Like, you was linking during the height of it, and I'm just like, yo, this guy is brave, man.
You was traveling all the way to Baltimore to see your girl. So what you talking about?
I know, man, but at least she was quarantined. Like, I don't know about randoms, but I'm not judging. But I definitely admire that maturation, because, like he said, people don't learn it until like something happens, like you maybe have a kid on the way, whatever, and then you're forced into that maturation, and you may miss a step and miss some things you may have needed to know. So
right.
I definitely respect that.
Bro, this is part of the maturation for me. I've been this close to do the whole travel, sending to travel at least 12 times. But the better side of me was like, yo, come on, man, don't be that guy. You don't want to be the one with the story,
Hey, that might make a good story. I ain't gonna lie.
So it's been limited to FaceTime calls and and cupcaking and shit, as they say. You know what I mean?
Cupcaking. Oh
shit! I didn't know there was a term for that.
Yeah, that's what my homegirl. She's she's fluent into all of this crazy shit. But yeah, man, it's just about making. I mean, now that we're coming out of this shit, who knows what's gonna happen, right? And that's where we're gonna be tested again. We as a man, you just gotta be on your P's and Q's and keep it 100 with yourself, man. Don't do nothing out of character. There's a lot going on out here. No need to be adding burdens to your life. If and that goes for women too. Toxic relationships. That's all you hear women talk about. Toxic men, making bad choices. Like, we got to start making wise choices, man. Wiser choices.
Absolutely. And like the way we've been thinking about this whole COVID thing on our podcast is like this whole quarantine was a real test to people's will. Like now we're finally coming out the other end of this shit, we're going to really see who used the time to their advantage, whether they learned something new about themselves or a new trade or something like that. I'm curious, have you picked up anything new that you may have thought about doing before this? Like, have you picked up any new skills?
No, I just kind of been revisiting things I used to like reading books and, like it's really like in cooking, cooking has been like the ill thing. You cook more, you cooking more healthier things, you know what I mean? Versus being on the go and just buying shit just to sustain. So I wouldn't say add nothing new. It's just been more time to do things that I normally couldn't fit in my day to day.
I stopped eating fast food altogether because I've been cooking so much, yo. Like, I told myself, even financially, yo, like, I'm like, bro, why am I wasting my bread on this? That shit stacks up. I'd rather just go to the grocery store. I get more for my money, and I'm going to cook it exactly how I want it. So it's like, bro, I've been cooking so much. Like, I have a full fridge, and I have not. It took me some time to really be disciplined, because sometimes what it is just you want that instant gratification. Like, if you got a taste for some chicken and you driving past Popeyes, nigga, I don't know about you, but I'm pulling over. You feel me? So I had to. It's a mind thing. I had to tell myself, just wait till I get home, and I just don't pull up my debit card unless I'm buying gas.
For me, like, I don't know if y'all felt this way. Like, y'all want something so bad, like Popeyes, and then when you get it, it don't taste as good as you thought it would.
Yeah,
so it doesn't feel worth it.
To me. That's happened to me so many times.
That's what I'm saying. So, I'm honestly salmoned out. I've been having salmon so much recently that like that's like the only thing I can really cook that's like really edible. So like, I ain't gonna lie, the Uber Eats has caught me a few times, but it really don't hit the same when you finally get it.
Yeah, I bought an air fryer.
Oh,
yeah, shit is so ill.
That's so ill right there.
So ill. I encourage everybody to get an air fryer. It'll change your whole. It'll change your whole cooking, everything, bro. For real.
I thought that was all hype, but everyone keeps saying that, so I might have to get one.
Bro, get one, man. You gonna have so much. You gonna have fun cooking that salmon. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
That was one of the first things I made. I'm like, yo, let me test it out with the salmon.
Word.
And yo, it was a beauty. I didn't want to eat
it. That's fire. See now that you said it, now that I got the last cosign I could take. I'm about to really caught one next podcast.
Go to Target, get the Target app. I don't know if you drive. I hope you do.
Yeah.
Do the drive up feature. Order that shit. Do the drive up feature. They tell you when when your item is available, when it's ready for you to pick it up. Pull up in the drive spots, hit that button, they come out to your car, boom, go back home. You ain't touch nobody, you ain't make no hand-to-hand contact, nothing.
Yeah, I hope Target listening. I'm trying to get a sponsorship now.
Yo, they get it.
Word. But let's transition into the situation with George Floyd and Derek Chauvin. There's no gray area in this situation. The whole exchange, at least for the part that we needed to see, there was no gray area. No reason that the media could possibly try to flip it any other way, even though they tried. Can you give us your thoughts when you're watching this go down?
People had enough. We witnessed the murder we witnessed the murder, the whole world at the same time, and there wasn't nothing that needed to be put into context other than the fact that could have been avoided, and it's just a constant as it pertains to people of color. We're seeing this thing all the time. So this was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I think this is what we're seeing all across the globe with the protests. I think you're seeing a lot of outcry, a lot of people. Think about the families who've had instances like this happen to a family member, but because they don't have it on recording or they don't have nothing that gives them leverage, this is for them too, So here we are. Here we are. It's sad. It hurts. It's sad. It's but I'm hopeful that now we can all focus. I think one of our biggest problems as a people, when something like this happens, we're in the moment and we don't stay on task. Because after this now, it doesn't stop. We got to keep that same energy. And when I say that, I don't mean the rioting and nothing like that, because that's something else. I mean, keep the same energy of wanting to change the system.
Yo, can I say something, Jeff? Does that not sound exactly what I said yesterday?
Literally, it is. Yeah.
That's exactly what I said yesterday, AK. I was like, yo, I see what the rioting and all of that is about and the protesting, but every time a something happens, a horrific event happens, we reach this peak of awareness. Right now, everybody wants to be aware. Everybody wants to spread the awareness, right? But then it's like, where's the longevity, right? When are we going to start doing things that are going to actually affect and make change? You know what I'm saying? And that's us as a people. It's no particular person. It's us as a people, because we all do it. With the whole Blackout Tuesday, I was saying, like, I didn't participate in it because it's like, it's a long-term fight. It's not just Tuesday. Like, it's a long-term fight. You know what I'm saying? And I said that the people who are oppressing us are looking at it like children having a tantrum. You know what I'm saying? They're going to let us wear ourselves out because they know eventually it's going to die down until something else happens. But it needs to be constant pressure from us.
Yep.
Like,
and that's how you...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, my bad. Proceed.
No, I was just going to say, all the officers were officially charged today, and I feel like at this point, people, we shouldn't stop protesting. Like, because this happened, there's more situations that have happened within the past month. Breonna Taylor, whatever. Like,
her killers are still not charged or arrested yet either. So it's like it's just ongoing. You gotta remain committed, and we have to stay on the task.
We can't allow ourselves to be satisfied with concessional change, right? They'll change something and give 1 out of 100 convictions and expect us to be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? They're giving us crumbs when they hide in the whole loaf.
Right. This has been almost a week now, and now they're finally all charged. I feel like the system they're just like, here, take it. We got them. They're in prison now. Now calm down.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
Well, they created. Well, to be fair, they created the system for them to benefit from it. We don't benefit from it, and that's the problem, right? So what they did, it is messed up, but it's all strategy because they organized and they came to a consensus to say, hey, we're going to create these laws that benefit a certain sex of people. So now what we have to do is say, all right, time's up. We're going to flip the table now. You know, we're here. Like, this is not a human rights issue. You know what I'm saying? It's a humanity issue.
Yes.
You know, but again, that stuff takes time.
And that's the truth. Because what I was saying yesterday when we were recording was the system is what needs to change, but the system is so corrupt and it's entrenched. The systemic racism is so entrenched. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's gonna take a bunch of combinations of results. It's not one solution that's just gonna change everything. It's a combination. It's an intricate process. Doing all the little things, getting our kids involved in local politics, taking back the black dollar, teaching our kids how to eat right, you know, how to think independently and not having this herd mentality with social media. Like, there's so many different layers of what has to be done. It's not going to happen immediately. It's a long-term thing.
But like I said yesterday, like, the only thing really holding us back is the resources, the access to have everyone in our community get to these levels of, like, I mean, the information is there, right? But when you're trying to tell that to someone in the hood, who, when they look around, they see every day people getting killed from people who look like him or people on the outside, it's hard to convince them of that, right? And that's like number one. And then there's two, like, we come together and organize these protests, but we don't come together and come up with concrete plans. Like, these are passion-fueled protests, which are warranted, right? These are necessary too. But I feel like we don't come together enough to actually sit down and come up with an actual plan to fight the plan that we're trapped in. And
we got to be more proactive.
Right. And then the third thing is like leadership, right? Like, I feel like a good amount of people in our community are too ego driven. So they feel like they can be their own leader, and they should have that. They should want to be their own leader. But I feel like I think you said this yesterday, CR, like, we need like leaders in our community to put us in the right direction, or else we'll just be moving aimlessly throughout the world.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the system working effectively, because what I had mentioned yesterday is how they killed the leaders that really had that influence on us. You know what I'm saying? And then we do have new leaders, but they don't have the same influence that MLK had, that Malcolm had, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, the people who organized Snake, like, it's so many different leaders that got killed and got popped for speaking up and organizing. It's like, for people to step up the way we need them to, I really think people are scared. I think people are afraid because it's real. You are putting your life in danger. The minute you really start talking about radical change, you're a target. So it's like, who's going to be, and if that leader does step up, we as a society, as a community, have to protect that leader, yo, because they keep killing our leaders. That's why we're so disorganized. They keep killing our leaders.
And I think we need more white people as well to use their privilege and their power to help those leaders. If a leader were to step up, I think we need a white person who's on that same level or even above to use their privilege to protect them.
Yeah. I feel like we can't have progressive change without allies. We need allies.
Absolutely.
There's no way we could do it without them, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go to the source of the problem. The people who created the problem will be the ones to solve it, yo.
Yeah. That's
powerful right there,
bro. Like, but like, even the way things are now, like, I had to like really take myself off of Twitter because I'm just seeing so many different things that are crazy. But you got like some white people who even the cops. Like, the cops are like using people. They're tugging at people's emotions and they're kneeling, right? But I've saw somewhere that some cops are using the kneeling tactic to lead the protesters towards them to attack them with tear gas, right? So it's like seeing shit like that, and then you try to present the conversation of having like a white leader aid a black leader, it'll just make things even harder, bro. Like, that's all.
Yeah, we gotta stop. We gotta stop falling for the okie doke with these photo ops too, man. That none of that means anything because it doesn't affect the change. I don't like all that emotional shit. That's cool, but let's get to the real. Let's get to the table now. Let's get to the table. You know what I mean? And start putting our signatures on these law changing events. You know what I'm saying? Like, police reform. You know, outlawing choking and kneeling and all that shit. Like, no, there should be measures. They gotta change that whole script. You know, when you approach somebody, you know, don't run up with the gun out already. Like, you know, give them fair warning or some shit. Like, all of those things, man, got to be reevaluated.
I
Don't give me a
agree.
photo op. I don't want no
Yeah.
photo op.
That was something else that I had brought up. I was saying that there should be certain laws put to protect the person in custody, right? Once those cuffs are on you, it should be illegal for any physical force to be applied to you. It should be illegal, bruh. I feel like that's a real
There's no
law that
need.
needs
There's
to
no
be.
need for it.
There's no need. So it's like the minute those handcuffs are put on you and you're in custody, you shouldn't be touched. If you're injured after that, I think you should have grounds for a lawsuit. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for that to really be realistic in the country we live in, but I feel like that needs to happen, yo. Because it's like, what can you do when you're handcuffed already? Like, I seen videos of people with their hands up, literally giving the cops everything they asked for, and the cop ran up behind this guy and drop kicked him. Like, they think this shit's a video game.
The same level of protection you're granted when you're allowed to see your attorney when you're actually already in the cell, you should be able to have that when you're on your way to the cell.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's just this weird blurred lines that they put in front of us, and it's just like it just fucks everything up, yo, and it's just frustrating. And like, this is like what I have to say to our audience, bro. Like, figure out your place. Figure out the position you want to be during the revolution. Like, not everyone is a soldier. Not everyone is strong enough or capable or confident enough to go out to the front lines. But you could do something just like this. Have these conversations. You could fucking donate. Like, figure out your position and where you want to be in the revolution, and then make it happen. Because more of these conversations need to definitely happen. Because without dialogue, we'll just be lost and we'll just keep losing.
Absolutely.
And yeah, man, I'm just so passionate about this shit because it's just like it's not fair, bro. Like, it's just really not fair. Like, we didn't ask to be. We were literally forced into the system. We didn't ask for this. Like, we were born into it, and now it's like we have to like fight our way out. And it's just,
and I think that's the key, man. We've seen this already. We've seen these scripts play out over and over and over again. We have to change the script. You know, figure out new solutions, and you only get that through dialogue and being consistent.
Yes.
In your opinion, of working with podcasts exclusively, like I'm sure you recognize the power in that. Like, going forward,
yeah.
Will you be looking for shows that could potentially breed the influence to change and help?
100%. I mean, if you look at all the people in the roster, everybody's either, you know, individually and collectively kind of have contributed to a message, you know, contributed to the positive outcome. And that's just who they are. You know, that's just their, you know, I guess that's their innate responsibility. And fortunately, you know, we have a collection of dope people who you know, who can look at Charlemagne. I mean, he's all over the place, you know, agent for change, you know. I think, yeah, that's honestly, sometimes it's not really a look for thing. It just happens.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because like minds always get in the room together anyway. So, but yeah, I totally embrace that.
Are you located in New York, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Have you partook in any of the protests, or maybe not
No.
yet? Or?
No, but I've contributed from afar.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But not no. I'm not I have my own reasons. I'm not against it whatsoever, but you know, I think, you know, you just gotta be wise and how we utilize and how do you feel you can be more impactful, you know?
Yeah.
Some ways might not be, some ways I'm thinking might not be for someone else. Someone might want to be on the ground, you know what I mean? So, you know, but yeah, I mean, I 100% support it, but yeah, I support it with a different tool.
And that's
I
fair.
respect that.
That's
I respect that because we need that. Not everybody can fight the same way, or else it will lose every time. We need people on different levels doing different things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I definitely respect that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and you shouldn't feel guilty for the role you're in. Like you know your strengths more than anybody else, right? So for the people listening who also don't really vibe with the idea of being a protester, you can also do the same thing from home, man.
Man,
My
listen, if I
lord.
go out there, and get caught up with the emotion, I know every day I might not go home. I might have to make a pit stop, you know what I mean, to central bookings before I, you know what I mean? So
But
yeah, it's better for me to do it this way.
I
absolutely.
respect that, man. You know yourself, and I feel that
Yeah.
100%. Because you gotta do what's best for you first. Because you can't fight anything if you fucked up.
Yep, for sure.
Are you ready and willing to get back to work in like an office space type setting, or are you still kind of ready to stay from home and work?
That is a great question, man. And I don't have the right answer yet. I'm either or right now. I could do the home thing. But I also like being in the studio as well. Um, so I mean, I'm fine either way. If it's going back to the studio, I gotta be 100,000% assured that every nook and cranny of that studio is sanitized, clean as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? So
On point.
I'm either way with it.
Do you have like a place in mind that's like you're ready and willing to get back to, whether it's a restaurant, or maybe a movie theater, like anywhere you're really looking forward to getting back to?
Just the element of just being around your significant other, you know what I mean, or a person of interest. Just to say, yo, pick up and do something spontaneous.
Yes.
And, and being in the car together, just pull up somewhere or link up and, you know,
Just
have a
have
drink. And,
fun.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. That's really the main thing, you know. Um, but soon, man, they opening up everything. So, you know.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to see another face mask after 2020, yo. I'm done with
Oh
these
my
shit, yo.
God. Say it again.
Yo, I'm so
One thing,
tired of this shit, yo.
one thing is gonna have to change is how barbers operate, because now I told my barber recently, he was telling me like, yo, now moving forward, when he gets back in there, he's gonna only do appointment based, and he's gonna have the appointments an hour increments, so no one's interacting, you know. And I love that because I feel like you go to a local barbershop, you know, I'm from Brooklyn, so you go to a barbershop, the barber's talking to the next customer after you because they know each other from kids. Then other kids come in there, and then it's just all these distractions. So I like that me and barber time. You know what I mean?
Word.
That I embrace.
The barber time hit different, man. The conversations hit different. The vibe is different, man. I miss that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward just the day I could walk outside my house with like, I don't want to say zero fear because I'm a black man. I'm always gonna be scared of with the police and shit like that. But the fear of something I can't see. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to being ignorant of what I can't see and just being still aware of what's going on, but not really having to worry about contracting a virus I have no control of, something I can't see. So, but CR, you still been outside though, so I feel like you don't really miss that much. You still seeing stuff, you still doing stuff.
I feel like for me, I'm not telling nobody to follow how I move because I don't like to live in fear, and I take my precautions and I do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being reckless, but Yes, I have gone to visit family, friends. I still work every day, driving Lyft. You know what I'm saying? I'm not recommending that to nobody else because I am taking a risk, if you want to be honest. But at the same time, I'd rather do that because if not, mentally, I'm not gonna be right. I have to interact with people. Like that's what keeps me sane. You feel me?
Mm.
Like I'm already an only child and I live alone. So it's like if I was to quarantine in my house for 3 months, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I would
Yeah.
have lost my fucking mind, bruh. Even if I'm FaceTiming, it don't matter if I'm FaceTiming, calling motherfuckers, like I'm gonna lose my mind. So I've been moving different, but not too different where it's gonna affect my mental. I
So,
can't live in fear. I can't.
so you,
Right.
I take it that you, I take it that you haven't had any virtual dinners. Like, like, you have to, like the whole FaceTime. You know what I mean?
that's different, and I never. That's pretty dope. But nah, I
Don't,
haven't.
don't,
I've
don't,
actually.
don't encourage. Do not encourage that behavior. I thought about that shit, and I was like, oh, that's cute, but nah, that's not realistic.
Yo,
That's not.
Virtual dinner.
Yeah.
low key, I might try that with my girl. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty fire. You get like you get a menu that y'all both have. Like,
Man, listen, your girl put on something fly. You're gonna be like, yo, man, let me end this call right now. Let's take that risk.
Right. I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been taking a risk. I'm going there tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie.
Look
Gonna
at this
lie.
nigga.
like I don't care, yo.
All
The
praise,
risk has been taken. Like, I don't care.
all praise is due, yo. That's all you gotta say. That's
Absolutely,
it.
man.
Run out. That's it. Just drink your
Yeah.
elderberry, drink your vitamin C and zinc. Boom.
Shit. Absolutely. Green juice every day.
Yes, sir.
Word, man. We definitely appreciate you coming on the show, man. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, I wanted you on the
Thanks for
podcast.
having me, man.
When we first met at the Gotham Podcast Seminar, I was really inspired by everything you were saying. And yeah, the podcast kept going, part of your influence from that day. So we really appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me, man. And yo, just keep pushing.
Wait, quick question. Are we gonna play this or that with him?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So before you go, there's a segment that I've created.
Okay.
It's a game of choices between two impossible ultimatums. It's called this or that. The rules of the game, you have two options and you have to choose one. You're not allowed to question the options, but you are allowed to explain your choice. Are you ready?
I'm processing, but go ahead.
All right, but
Right,
I always start off a little light, then it gets a little heavy. All right. And the guest always answers first, then Jeff, then I'll answer, and then we'll keep going.
All right.
I'm starting off light. Oreos or Chips Ahoy?
Man, dog, yeah. Oreos or Chips Ahoy?
Impossible ultimatums.
Yo, man, with 50.9% of the vote, I'm gonna go with Oreos.
Okay.
I second that, bro. Oreos are fire.
I'm gonna have to go Oreos too, fellas.
The double stuffed? Come on, man.
Popeyes or KFC?
To be honest, I don't fuck with none of them, man.
All right. I respect that because I started eating it too. But we've had it before. Come on.
If this is Mom Duke's drinks, then yeah.
All right.
I go.
All right, you know what? All right, wait. Just for the purposes of the this or that, I'm gonna say Popeyes for sure.
All right, good choice. Louisiana's Kitchen.
Oh wow. Yep.
Jeff?
Yeah, Popeyes too.
Yeah, I'm going Popeyes. All right.
Without question.
Henny or Jack Daniels?
Ooh. All right, so I gotta explain something.
Okay.
I'm really not that. I'm not the I'm not the alcohol guy, but Henny to me, my favorite is Hennessy Black. All right, but I don't have it all the time anyway. Jack Daniels got the honey joint, so it's like
That's my shit.
That's my shit.
if that's available, it cancels out everything. So I'm gonna go Jack Daniels only if it's honey.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of a battle because both of those require two different settings. The Henny is where I'm trying to have fun, right? The Jack Daniels, for me, the way it hits me, it's like where I want to just chill or I'm with somebody. I'm not really out like that all the time anymore, and I'm more on the chill side. So I'm definitely gonna go with the Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
All right.
I know this nigga's a Henny nigga. I already see it.
Nah, yo, I love Honey Jack, bro. That's the truth.
Okay.
I love Honey Jack with some ginger ale.
Oh yeah, that's the formula right there. That's it.
Damn, I know.
Yep.
That's that medicine.
Yep.
All right. Now it gets a little weird.
Here we go.
Deep fried cockroach or boiled possum.
Oh.
You have to choose.
I take the deep fried cockroach because I'll tell the chef to double batter that shit. Like batter that shit. Because at least I can play mental games with myself to convince myself to eat it. But if you tell me that it's a possum, I can't do it because I done seen some nasty possums just running around Brooklyn for no reason. And I don't think that there's anything delightful about that shit at all. There's no way you could cook it for me to accept eating that shit. So yeah, deep fried cockroach.
Shit.
Oh man. Throw me away. I just gotta go.
Yo, you funny as hell.
Yeah, you saying deep fried cockroach? I mean, it's already cooked and it's somewhat edible. Like, if you just handed me a possum that has oil on it, like I'm good.
No, I said boiled.
Oh, boiled.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's cooked, but it's boiled.
Oh, I thought you said boiled.
Nope.
Yeah, hell no.
Tempura that cockroach. Let me get some sauce, some soy, something, ketchup,
some hot sauce.
Yeah.
Yo, and roaches can fucking live through like a nuclear explosion. So if I eat one, that may affect me too. So whatever.
Right.
With that.
Yo, y'all are so funny, yo. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I go with the cockroach too, bro. I ain't eating no fucking boiled possum.
Oh God.
All right, Cat Williams or Mike Epps?
These are good.
Impossible ultimatums.
I'm gonna go with Mike Epps.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a second that.
I fuck with Cat Williams, but I'll go with Mike Epps.
Damn, we keep this is not like I'm not following y'all lead, but I will also choose Mike Epps. Like Cat Williams, I love Cat Williams, but Mike Epps, I feel like I can smoke a blunt with that nigga and be crying, bro. Like I feel like he gonna have me
like
crying.
you like once he walks in the room,
it's over.
And you ain't got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You already know like it's gonna be hours of nonstop fuckery.
You know that's who he really is. Like that nigga just loves to be like he's a funny nigga, yo.
Yep.
All right. Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler?
Jim Carrey, because he's for the people.
Yeah, he is for the people, and he's an intellect.
Yep.
Damn, I thought you would go with Adam Sandler. He's a fellow New Yorker, man. I think he's from Brooklyn too.
I know. Yeah, everybody's from Brooklyn, man. The whole world is from Brooklyn, yo. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Shit.
I fuck with Jim Carrey too. He got range, but I just saw that Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, and that's fresh in my mind, and that was fire.
Yep.
So I'm going with Adam Sandler.
Going with Adam. I gotta rock with my man Jimmy, man. Not only is he funny as hell, but that nigga just thinks so different, yo. Like he's really a different type of person, bro. Jim. All right, Joe Biden or Donald Trump? Impossible ultimatums.
We can edit anything you want, bro. Don't worry.
I don't know. I just got to flip a coin on that one. Nah, honestly, Joe, Smoking Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe.
I'm going with Joey. We already seen what Donald can do. I'm saying at least we have a chance of it being a little less bad with Joe.
But Joe has dementia, man. That's the only thing I'm scared of. Joe really has dementia. Like niggas will probably tell him something in an important meeting, and then he'll forget it. Like,
yeah, he's gonna need some thorough assistance around him.
Shit.
I got a few more. Just three more. All right.
Yep.
Stand in the plank position for 2 hours or jog a marathon.
So what's the second one again?
Jog a marathon. That's like 36 miles.
Or be in a plank position for 2 hours?
Yeah.
No breaks?
No breaks, straight through. I mean, if you fall, you fall, but you got to get right back up.
I think I could. Nah, I do the race.
You do the
At
race?
least, yeah, because I'll be at my own pace. You know what I mean? So
right.
As long as I finish 36, it don't matter. You know what I mean?
Now you thinking. What about you, John?
Yeah, I do the race. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably try to do the 2 hours on the plank, man. That's history right there. That's history being made right there.
Woo!
I think I would try to do that, yo. I'm not gonna lie.
I think you would try too. I think you would do that one.
I could do it like 2 minutes, but like 2 hours is kind of crazy. But I would try.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get carried out. You're gonna stay like this the whole time.
Yo, fuck
yeah.
I would do the jog, man. I'm doing the jog, the marathon, man. Fuck that. All right. Get the people's elbow from The Rock or get F5 from Brock Lesnar.
I said the people's elbow. You know why?
Why?
Fuck it, it's The Rock. You know what I mean?
It's like, it's The Rock.
Yo,
Rock.
after he leaves his elbow print in my neck, at least I know later he gonna pick me up and be like, "Come here, brother," and then we might hang out together. He might put me in the next Fast 8 or 9 or whatever number they at. You know what I'm saying? That might become the homie. So yeah, The Rock, the elbow.
Hey, look, you didn't say this was a televised event. You didn't say there was any contract signed. So fuck it. I'm gonna let both of them do both of those things to me. I'm gonna sue the fuck out of both of them.
Yo, this nigga
There you go. There you go, cha-ching.
Trying to get paid, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with The Rock, bro. I feel like that shit would be legendary. All right, last one. Would you rather stop racism altogether or switch places with white supremacy? So in other words, black people would be where white people are right now, or get rid of racism altogether. And that's the finale.
Yo, all right. So reversing the scenario is kind of ill because you ever saw The Watchmen?
You said, have I heard of Watchmen?
Yeah, the series on HBO.
I never saw it, but I heard of it.
Yeah, I heard of it.
All right.
Like you're talking. Wait, it's like with superheroes.
Well, yes, they're not really superheroes in the same vein as Marvel, but it is.
But they got powers.
But it deals with race.
Oh,
it deals with supremacy, but a different perspective. You got to. I don't want to give it away if you decide to watch it, but I would say I wouldn't mind switching roles just so they could feel that shit. But then ultimately, outside of the fuckery, let's just end racism and let's move forward. Right. You know what I mean? Because doing that oppressive shit ain't no matter how long you do it, nothing good comes out of it. You know what I mean? You don't want that as far as your cultural or historical legacy. So yeah, let's just end this shit. End the racism. We all move forward. We go eat. You know what I'm saying? And just move forward.
I say end it too. It's eliminating one of the biggest hurdles in the world. So just take it out forever.
Facts. Yeah, I would say end racism altogether as well, because I feel like, I don't know if like from a lot of people that I've had conversations with, they say that we're in the current social climate that we're in because when we were in power, we did treat them the way they're treating us. So maybe, you know what I'm saying, this is kind of karma, and the universe is giving us the other side of it all. We don't, because we weren't there. You know what I'm saying? We weren't there. When we were running the earth, when Africa was the biggest, like, centralized civilization, it's like, how are we really treating everybody?
Right.
So,
good points.
Absolutely.
Thanks for playing, guys.
Yeah. So our very, very last segment to close out the show is called Don't Sleep. So basically, we recommend something to our audience that they shouldn't sleep on. It could be something as simple as something that you cooked or a song that you heard, or it could be something a little bit more complex. And my Don't Sleep is, again, it's the same one I said yesterday. Don't sleep on the possibilities. And what I mean by that is, there's so much going on in the world, and the idea that things will get better may not seem like a possibility, but don't sleep on the possibility that things can get better. It is possible, and we have to do our part to make it possible. So don't sleep on the possibilities. CR, you got something?
Don't sleep on the power of thought, right? A lot of what our life is right now, and I'm talking about individually, it's a result of our thinking. If you really want to make change in your life, you want to not be depressed, you want to be rich, you want to lose weight, you want to find the greatest love of your life, it all starts with the way you think. You got to think positive. I know it's overrated and people talk about it all the time, but man, I'm telling you, that shit matters, yo. Being optimistic and training yourself to think positive, I'm telling you, makes a huge difference, because it just attracts more things that you want from the material world. Aligning yourself spiritually with that positive energy is going to bring you everything you ever wanted. Plus, so don't sleep on the power of thought.
Word.
And I guess mine will be in the same vein, is just don't sleep on the power of self-mastery. You know, always fine-tuning yourself. You know, always trying to be a better person. Your interactions and, you know, how you think of yourself, and just continue to work on that.
Word. Please shout out where people could follow and support you, bro. We really appreciate having you on again.
Salute. My Instagram, it is, what's my Instagram? I forget. Hold on. My Instagram, it's aking. It's ITSAKING. On Twitter, it's _aking. You know, some of the podcasts you guys might be familiar with me being on. So obviously the Combat Jack Show. Go back and listen to all of those brilliant episodes. We got the Internet's podcast that's popping right now. You know, the whole Loudspeaker podcast family. You know, shout out to everybody. And yeah, that's it. Salute to you guys, man. Introverted Pod. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
Please rate, subscribe, and comment. Share Introverted Podcast. You know what I mean?
Thanks
Absolutely.
for taking the time to be here with us, man. For real, appreciate you.
Well, we just having conversation, man.
Absolutely. CR, you want to shout out your stuff when we get out?
Oh yeah. Please, man, follow me on Instagram at CR_908. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, also CR908. I got new music coming out this summer. Me and Killer KC dropping a joint. It's called We So Hot. Be ready for it. Gonna entertain the fuck out of you with music videos all summer. Be ready.
Where, as always, follow the podcast Instagram page at Introverted Intuition Pod. Follow the Twitter at Introverted Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Introverted Intuition. If you're interested in coming on the show as a guest, email us at introvertedpod@yahoo.com. Rate, subscribe, comment, all that, share. That's it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all too.
No doubt. Have a good night, fellas.
Y'all be
Salute.
safe.